Welcome to another episode of Simple Information About Mortgages. So there's a lot of chatter going on in the street. Rumor has it. That's why we brought that song on. Rumor has it. And so on tonight's guest, we're going to talk to Dayna Adewuya. Dayna has a new brokerage and she has a lot of exciting information to share. But we're going to start off with her talking about the chatter in the street. Please help me welcome Dayna Adewuya. Welcome, Dayna. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you, Siam. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
So it's a lot going on with you. So before we dive into the topic at hand, I want you to tell the audience who you are and just a little bit about you, and then we'll dive in.
Oh, wow. Who am I? I'm the principal broker for Aurelian Realty. We are an independent brokerage out in Sugar Land, Texas. We cover the greater Houston metroplex and will soon be taking our services globally. So we're looking forward to that. While I do sell homes and properties, that's not who I am. I am an entrepreneur, I am a coach, I am a mentor, a teacher at heart. And you and I talk a lot about that and what the future looks like as far as that's concerned. But yes, that's who Dayna is.
So this is my girlfriend, y'all. So we're going to have a girlfriend conversation because I see she's a little formal and a little nervous. So we're going to help her relax a little bit and we're going to engage in conversation, okay?
Okay.
So Dayna, tell me, what's happening in these mortgage streets right now, the real estate streets? A lot of chatter out there. It's a big lawsuit that's going to affect the buyers as well as sellers. And I know that you primarily deal with sellers more so than buyers. So from a broker's perspective, let's talk about what was this lawsuit that everybody's talking about?
Okay, so when we're talking about my clientele, I typically will work with higher end clientele.
Okay.
Right? I do have lower priced homes that I help buyers get into. So for the most part, my clientele probably won't be affected by any of the new rulings or finalization of rulings, I should say, against the NAR, because nothing is finalized now. There was a ruling, but it's being appealed.
But my buyers don't know about this. I haven't shared this information with them. So tell them, what is the lawsuit? What is the lawsuit?
So in a nutshell, the lawsuit is against how sellers have to cover the cost of the buyer's agent when selling their home, okay? There is no typical, right? There is what the seller wants to market their home as when it comes to commission, what they want to pay their listing agent and what they want to pay, or if they even want to pay a buyer's agent. So what we're seeing is that there has been presentation basically of two sellers that, you know, hey, it's going to cost you 6% to sell your house. Basically, that's 3% to the listing agent, 3% to the buyer's agent.
Okay, so traditionally, when a person buys a house, the seller pays for the buyer's representative. So if the buyer has a real estate agent representing her or him, and the seller has one representing them, the seller is the person that actually pays the commission.
That's what we have seen. That's what has been presented. However, if anyone stops and takes the time to read a buyer representation agreement, there is language in there that says that if the buyer cannot receive, if the buyer's agent cannot receive compensation from the listing broker, then the buyer, they can then recover their commission from the buyer. Commissions have always been negotiable. Sellers have not had to pay a buyer agent commission. Now, however, let's roll that back a little bit. They don't have to, but is it in their best interest to? Does it help the marketability of the home, right? When they do that? So those are some of the things that have been in question, right? And some sellers are saying, well, we didn't have to pay, so much in commissions, or we shouldn't have had to do that. And so that's what's going on in Missouri right now. Missouri, not Texas. It's important to differentiate. This is happening in Missouri and not Texas. However, it will have some rippling effects. Now, I do want to say that our Texas agents, right, we know this. We have presented this to our clients. Now, whether the client agreed, right, to pay it, and just so you know, I've had clients that have said, I'm not paying the buyer agent. You can do what you want. This is what I'm paying you. And then if you want to pay the buyer's agent out of what you're going to earn from me from the sale, then you can do that. But I'm not paying the buyer's agent. So I have run into that.
So a lot of people don't understand. So I have a lot of first-time home buyers, and their thing is find a real estate agent. Sometimes they don't know whether to use the seller's agent, the person who has the sign out in the yard. They don't know. So typically the way it should go is that they find a house using a buyer's agent.
That's correct.
Now, traditionally, the seller has been the person that paid the buyer's agent.
That's correct.
But now, because of this lawsuit, and the ruling of the lawsuit was in the favor of the seller, meaning that the seller is no longer required to pay the buyer's agent. It is the listing agent's discretion whether or not they want to share their commission with that buyer agent. Is that what I heard you say?
They want to cooperate, yes. So there was never a requirement, for the seller to pay the buyer's agent. Never. If you read the contract, it is not a requirement.
Now you keep hearing her say, if we read. Now you know buyers and sellers alike don't read all the fine print. A lot of that is written by attorneys, and even if we read it, we don't understand it all. So who is the person that's going to interpret it, what that contract says?
That's your realtor. That is why it is very important for you to find a realtor, not a real estate agent, a realtor, and you need to find a competent
Okay, so what's
realtor.
the difference between a real estate agent and a realtor? I know back in the day they said it was a difference, but now it says there is no difference.
You can only claim to be a realtor if you are part of the National Association of Realtors.
Okay, but in the lawsuit, I thought that I read, because I read, that part of this situation was when a real estate, part of the claim, one was for the buyer-seller commission, but another part is when real estate agents join a real estate company. Keller Williams was part of this lawsuit.
Yes.
That it is that they automatically are part of the NAR, the TAR in Texas, NAR and MLS. Is that not correct?
So correct and not so.
Okay.
So
talk to me.
Here's the thing. Most brokerages, most big brokerages will require their independent contractors, right, their agents, to subscribe to our local MLS, which is HAR, right? Part of the HAR dues, the dues cover Texas, not only just HAR, they cover Texas Association of Realtors and NAR. So by subscription, you will already be part of NAR and you can use the title of realtor. However, in the state of Texas, you can be a licensed agent and not have to subscribe to the MLS or HAR, which would mean you're probably not going to subscribe to NAR.
Okay, so let's just talk mortgage talk, lender talk, buyer talk. Okay.
Okay.
What does all of this mean for the buyer that's out there looking to purchase a home?
So I am quite worried about this.
Okay.
And then let me tell you what I foresee the challenge is going to be. In terms of affordability, when we are talking about a buyer having to compensate the buyer's agent, and then the buyer's agent also being paid what is commensurate with their value that they're bringing to the table in helping the buyer, right?
Okay. I don't quite follow you.
It's going to be challenging in terms of affordability. Let me just say that. Okay. It's going to be challenging for those individuals who are buying at the lower ends when it comes to paying a buyer's agent.
Okay, so
And then-
affordability,
Yes.
it ties right back into affordability.
Yes.
You're saying that this verdict is going to affect the buyer due to affordability, because now not only do they have to come up with earnest money down payment, they also have to have payment for their representation.
Correct. And where's that going to come from if they're already strapped for cash, if they're looking for down payment assistance and all of that? Where is that going to come from?
You tell us.
So I don't know. I don't know where that's going to come from. So if the agent, I think that there's going to be more negotiations,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's going to, well, I can only speak for what's happening in Texas. So the 3%, we do see that, but we also see 2%. I've been a buyer's agent and I've been paid 2%. I've been a buyer's agent and I've been paid 1%.
Exactly.
So I don't foresee that it's going to really change anything from a listing standpoint. I will say this. There are some of us out there that probably will not present to our clients those properties that are 1% or have a flat rate. I'm going to say that. There are some people out there
I've seen that happen now.
that will do that, right?
I've
And
seen
then
it.
there are those of us that will say, I don't care what the seller is offering. If my buyer wants this house, we're going to get this house. And it's not going to affect the level of service or my fiduciary responsibilities that I have
Well, at least you hope not.
to the
We
client.
both know there are agents
Yes,
that is in for the money,
correct.
and they're going to take you to where they get more bang. And so the rumor has it, is that more agents are going to go to builders where they get a flat commission. They know, regardless, that this actually is not going to affect builders. Is that a true statement?
I think we're already seeing that. We're seeing that with BTSAs. I just saw one builder, I won't say the name, they were giving $10,000 back as a BTSA.
Okay, because they need buyers, because inventory is higher now. We do have more inventory. At first we were short on it, but now we have a little bit more inventory, so there's more houses for people to choose from.
Correct.
But there's still, because of the interest rate, less
not
buyers
qualifying.
are out there. Well, they still qualify, but it's a little tighter. It's a lot different going into a home buying process thinking you're gonna pay $3,500 and realize you gotta pay $4,000.
Correct.
So that even though some of them can qualify, just the reach in their pocket.
Yeah.
The budget is 35 and now I'm gonna pay 40. I can afford it, but what cost am I gonna have to cut? But that eliminates the affordable buyer. That $200,000 to $400,000
I agree.
buyer doesn't have the liquidity or the flexibility to do some of the things that you're stating. So oftentimes they don't buy resale homes already because of the limited funds.
Correct.
Now, this ruling could possibly push them into more houses with more builders.
I think so.
So this is a win for builders as
it's been a win for builders since the end of COVID. They have been cleaning up. You know, the resale inventory is low, right?
right.
It's more advantageous for especially a first-time home buyer to go into a new construction for several reasons. Number one, they've partnered with a preferred lender and they've bought the rate down already. So they're going to get a more favorable rate
In
right?
some cases,
In
well,
so-
because a lot of that money has dried up. I think Lennar is the only one that really has that still.
Well, there's a lot more out there that are offering like 5.9.
Interest rates?
Yes.
There's a lot of builders still
Yes.
offering that? Okay.
Yeah. They're offering 5.9. They're doing a 2-1
buy down, right?
buy
right,
down.
Right. Mhm.
So we're seeing that. Also, with a new construction home, you have warranties, right?
Mhm.
That you may not have on a resale.
So that also has changed. You don't have the 210 anymore. That has
Okay.
changed.
So then we also have, the other thing that we have is, it's perceived that you would have less maintenance on a newer construction than you would a resale home. So, it's gonna push, I think all of that combined helps push people towards new construction right now rather than resale.
Okay, so hey guys, this is an ongoing conversation, and I know that this is a little deep dive. It's totally different than what you're used to hearing on this site, but we want to kind of mix it up because it's important with all of the changes that as a home buyer, what to expect and not to expect. Now we're going to continue to give you the information to go down the path to home ownership to get what you need, but knowledge is king. And these changes will greatly affect you as we move forward. So that's the reason why we have this. Hey guys, help me welcome my guest and thank her for coming, Dayna Adewuya.
Thank you so much.
If my listeners want to get in touch with you because they're looking for a house, how do they get in touch with you?
I'm going to give you my direct cell phone number. It's 832-292-2445. I'm right over here in Sugar Land. I'm not hard to find. Give me a call. Give me a text. The name of the brokerage is Aurelian Realty, spelled Aurelian Realty. Thank you so much, Cyan, for having me.
Hey guys, this has been Cyan Maxey, aka the Mortgage Maven. NMLS number 1093963. Email me, themortgagemaven@yahoo.com. Follow me on IG or send me a message right here on Spotify. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by.